fall back with another video. Have you ever wanted to expand on that same old pentatonic that you always play with just one extra scale? That's what we're doing today. Let's get started. So today we're going to talk about expanding on that same old pentatonic that we always play, this minor pentatonic right here, and I'm playing it in A minor. Okay, if you want to break out of ruts and start adding some additional intervals and interesting phrasing to that pentatonic, why not add the relative major? So if you don't know what the relative major is, let's first cover that. So the relative major scale of a minor scale is the major scale that uses the same notes as the minor scale. In other words, they have the same DNA, the same blood. So they will use the exact same notes. How do you know one is major and one is minor? A couple of different ways. The note that you tend to treat as the tonic or the root, and then where the whole steps and half steps fall if you were to simply play it as a scale. So in a major scale, you have the semitones or the half steps fall between the third and fourth notes and the seventh and eighth notes. In the relative minor scale, you would have the semitones or the half steps fall between the second and third notes and the fifth and sixth notes. So a quick way to find a relative major scale from your pentatonic is to do this. Here's my A minor pentatonic. I'm going to go to the second note of my pentatonic. Right here, okay? Now, one thing I should clarify very quickly is a pentatonic is a 5-tone scale, hence the name, and it has a couple of notes stripped away. So the second note of a minor pentatonic scale is actually a minor third up. That's a minor third interval on the guitar. So this is our minor root right here on my index finger, and then on my pinky, or if you're using your ring finger, a minor third away, that is my relative major key or my relative major scale. So if I want to use a major scale and play and phrase with a major scale over the minor key that I was just jamming on with A minor, for example, I could go to the second note of my pentatonic and play any major scale like this, or I could play this version. It doesn't matter so much about the shape, of course. What matters is I've located my root note on the second note of that minor pentatonic scale. That's my relative major, and as such now I can improvise inside of that major scale and it will fit over that minor key. So there's a couple of caveats I should throw in there. When you use this method to find the relative major scale, that means that this tone here is the sixth tone of my major scale. So 6, 7, 8, and 8 is 1. So that's why that's the relative major. If for some reason I am soloing over a Dorian groove or a Phrygian groove, I could comfortably do that with a minor pentatonic shape, but I couldn't then use the second note of that scale to find the relative major, okay? I've got to be soloing over the sixth tone location, known as Aeolian, off of the scale. So a natural minor scale. That's the minor pentatonic, but if I added back in the two other notes that truly belong in there in the Aeolian scale, it would sound like this. So when you're using this method to find the relative major key, perhaps when you're playing with the major scale over top of whatever progression we're talking about, maybe it doesn't fit 100%. And that might be because the progression you're using isn't a true natural minor progression, because sometimes natural minor progressions can be dark and dreary. So they might change it a little bit, and maybe they will raise the 7th degree to make it harmonic minor. And then your scale is going to have a note in there that doesn't sound like it fits very well. That's when you could fall back to your pentatonic to be a little safer. because a lot of these chord progressions, especially with backing tracks online, are going to throw in a chord here and there that may not work 100% with the major scale, but for the most part it will, and it will give you some more intervallic options. Now, you can go the other way too. Say you're soloing in C major over something, so I'm using the C as my root, my tonic, and I feel like my phrasing is stale and I want to change it up a little bit, maybe add in some phrases I'm comfortable with, something bluesy. So I put my pinky on the root. So this is C. I'm going to fall back to what is known as the first note of the minor pentatonic scale. It's right there. Now, over whatever C major progression I'm using, I can play the A minor pentatonic. So hopefully that's helpful to be able to look at your guitar and play the minor pentatonic and quickly go to the second note of your pentatonic and play the relative major. It opens up more intervallic choices for you, and of course that leads to interesting and unique phrasing that doesn't necessarily appear in what you've been playing in the pentatonic. So give that a chance, and hopefully it will expand your playing in a quick and easy way. If you like this video and you want to see more, please make sure to subscribe and like the video, share it if you will, and we will certainly see you next time.